I'm Chicano, and this is Paradise. Now, today I want to talk to you motherfuckers about, and when I say motherfuckers, I mean that in the most endearing way, because I used to be a motherfucker growing up, and I've changed my ways. Some of you guys watching me now may still be motherfuckers, you know, and you got to change your ways, especially if you want to live a calm, peaceful, and tranquil lifestyle. You may think that you want all that chaos like I used to back in the day, but if you keep creating chaos, guess what? There'll be a time when you can't come back from that chaos. And do you really want that? Do you really want that? Think about it. You may be young and wild right now, but that'll start changing. For me, it happened in my 20s. You know, for you, shit, you may be 30 something and still doing it. But I suggest that you look up to God and ask him for help, because you know you deserve it. You deserve a better life, a more calm, peaceful life, more than the one you have now. Just so you guys can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Back in the day, we used to do a thing called head hunting. We used to love head hunting. That was my forte. And when I mean head hunting, it's not doing drive-bys or walk-bys or anything like that. What we used to do to the enemy is we used to scope them out. We used to have a plan of attack, watch their ins, their outs, what times they would get out of school, what time they would get out of work, what time they would go to the store, all that. And when they would get together, we'd catch them in bunches. We would just roll up on them deep. We would attack like a pack of wolves and just start bombing on them, pounding on them. We used to beat their ass like bad, man, bad. And you know, they were afraid of us, you know, because that was our reputation. We'd attack like a bunch of sick dogs, you know, just pounding on them and leaving them bloodied up and all that. And some of the enemies that we would practice this on were the DIAs. They're actually a gang now. And the FOKs, that's a crew that if you're in LA, you probably heard of. You probably heard of all these crews if you're from LA. The PALs, the AIs, the DKAs, man, the DKs, we went hard on those fools on their block. And most of these crews that I'm talking about were tag bangers. Just like we were. We ended up, you know, becoming tag bangers. And some of the people in my crew decided they didn't want no part of that, so they kind of started their own set. We called them the mob friendlies. They started their own set. They did whatever they wanted to do on the side. But the crazy is we kept banging hard, creating a bunch of enemies. And after a while, even the homies started dying out. They didn't want to do it anymore because gangs were getting involved. And they were coming down on us, especially telling us 18th Street was telling us to get into the hood. Because some of the dudes we would fuck up were actually, you know, little brothers, you know, neighbors, siblings, friends of dudes from 18th Street. And yeah, so but I still kept doing my thing. I still kept banging on these fools, you know. And when I say that, you know, that's exactly what I mean. I was bombing on these fools. I would roll up on them, catch them slipping, punching them, all that. So this is a part of my past that I'm not proud of, but anybody in LA during that time can vouch for, because that's what I did, man. I was pretty vicious. And that's one of the main reasons why 18th Street wanted me in their barrio. And I'll go into detail about what they offered me, you know, back in the day, which was, just to get to it right real quick, was a whole block, my own clique. And I denied it, but because I had other plans, you know. At this time I saw the homies weren't really about the life anymore, you know, and I knew that if I joined, it meant that, you know, I'm gonna have to go hard, all in and all out. And I didn't want that, because I had visions like this. You see what I'm talking about? Just because you're a Chicano doesn't mean you have to be stuck in the hood. You know, we have this image of Chicanos. You know, Chicanos are, what do you think of when you think of Chicanos? You think black and gray, tattooing, you think cholos, you think Viclas, lowriders. Come on now, we're way more than that. You know what I'm saying? We got Chicano professors, we got Chicanos in law enforcement, we got Chicano bodybuilders, we got Chicano world travelers like me, man. We got Chicano authors, publishers, you know. So my main goal out of this is not to brag about my past, because I do have a pass. It's mostly to inspire you Chicanos to get the fuck up out of the hood. You know, if you're from the hood, you know, ignore that shit. That ain't for you. You know, I don't understand why we don't have more role models that are teaching our youth to do something more with their life than out just banging on the street, tagging misfits, all that shit, you know. I think that's why a lot of them fall into that life, because they don't see any role models. You know, they don't see any role models that they could emulate their life after, you know. And what I say is, if you do want to change, it starts with God. It always starts with God. Talk to him, seek his advice, seek his tutelage, ask him to guide you. He will speak to you through your conscience, and when he does that, you do what he says, whether it's hard, whether it means leaving your homies in the past like I did. You know, I mean, that from one day to the other, my homies, they didn't hear from me anymore. You know, you could ask them, you know, and if they're watching this video, you could comment on here, let them know how it is, man. Because one thing, I don't lie, I'm not faking the funk. You know, I lived the life, and now I'm living the life. So the life that I want, not a life that society put out there for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're Chicano, hit me up, let me know what's up, comment. You can follow me on Instagram, richieblogs.eth. You could DM me any questions that you have. I'll be more than happy to answer. All right.